Thank you, Bunch, and welcome everybody. It's a good crowd and a really great accomplishment that Winvesting has put together the MarketFest, and we're very proud to be part of it. I made today's webinar, today's presentation about trading systems because that's what why most traders attend webinars. They're looking for success. They're looking for that ticket. They put a lot of time, a lot of hours, they invest a lot of money and into becoming a professional trader, and many of them struggle. And they struggle for years and years and years. I had a gentleman I was talking to last week that had been trading for 22 years and had never had a profitable year. He said he'd had a couple of profitable months, but after 22 years he was basically break even and a little under. So he was looking for. And I asked him, I said, what are you looking for me to do? And he said, I want you to show me a winning trading system. That's what I want. And I knew that's maybe what he consciously thought he wanted, but really what most traders want is, in reality, is to have control over their financial destiny. And potentially profitable trading systems, they're all over the place. You just saw one in the last presentation. But knowledgeable, well-trained traders trading those systems profitably are quite rare. And what do I mean by that? Trading, as you guys know, I bet you everybody in this group has punched the buttons enough to know that trading is not a simple skill to master. It is a skill. It's not luck. It's not having some Mensa IQ or anything. It's just a skill, like you would master if you were a golfer. But many golfers, I had a neighbor one time that, he'd go out and he'd buy the latest set of golf clubs. He would buy about 3 or 4 sets of golf clubs, and he would spend $10,000, $15,000, and $20,000 every time on golf clubs. I mean, the best money can buy. Super custom-made golf clubs. This is up in the Austin area. And he'd go out on the course, and his score wouldn't be any better. It wouldn't improve one bit. He'd go out and he'd buy a new pair of shoes, or he'd buy something else. The secret, many traders think of their trading system like my neighbor did his golf club. That the secret is in the tool that you use. And the tools, golf clubs, boxers, Muhammad Ali, you're going to be a 3-time world champion. And it's extremely difficult to succeed at a difficult skill without a mentor, without someone with you daily, every day, day in and day out, working with you, someone you can call on at 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, on weekends, holidays. They're there for you, and you don't have to chase them down. And it's what I've been doing now for 17 years. But I also have a good trading system, and I'm going to show that to you. But I just want to make sure that everybody understands a couple of things, okay, and we'll get this out of the way. It's stuff you've heard before. Mental mastery is one of the things. There's 3 things you gotta have your act together when you become a professional trader, and mental mastery is one of them. It's one of the toughest things that as a general rule, it's one of the toughest things for my students to overcome. I have students that, man, they understand my system in 20 minutes. They know exactly what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, and they know everything. But when they get out there trading their live account, they can't follow their simple rules. There's only 4 rules, and they can't follow them to save their toenail. Regardless of how much a trader wants to succeed or how long or how hard they work at it to accomplish that goal, it's never going to happen until you achieve full, rock-solid control on the emotional, the mental side of trading. You can't control your results if you can't control yourself. And you guys know this. You guys know this, but it sure doesn't hurt to remind you. Also, market knowledge. This is what traders think they have. I said, what do you mean? Man, I've been doing this for 5, 8, 10, 15 years. I got all kinds of knowledge, man. I know support and resistance. I know volume. I know market profile. I know this. I know that, and I know something else. Well, if your trading results aren't what you need them to be, if they're not working, if it's not working for you, then one of 2 things is wrong. Either your market knowledge, I'm talking price action, technical analysis, etc., maybe some fundamental. Some traders trade on some fundamental. But it's either insufficient or the knowledge that you do have just doesn't work in today's complex market. When I started trading and teaching futures trading, oh gosh, back in 1999, I was trading them before that. Man, the market, I could almost teach a monkey how to trade. I never tried, but I always wanted to, because I thought, man, you could stand on your head and pull 2 or 3, 4 points out of the S&P. It had ranges 20, 25, 30, 35 points every single day. And I just used divergence and a little support and resistance, and I could pull profits out of the S&P at will, and it was a great feeling. But darn, here come the high frequency traders, and here comes the institutions, and here comes all the high rollers, and pretty soon the S&P just becomes this big bloated. It's just a mess. It's got plenty of liquidity. Don't get me wrong, but there's nothing else about it that favors the little guy, the little trader. It's all for the high rollers. And if you're not out there trading, 100, 200, 300, 500 contracts or more, there's nothing about the S&P that is in your favor. But that's not the way it used to be. But that's the way it is now, because the markets have gotten more complicated, tougher, and it's tougher is not necessarily a good thing. Your trading strategy is probably that's the thing that when I say this, I'm talking about the trading system, and it could be a strategy, it could be a method, it could be a trading system. But whatever it is, you got to know 3 very, very important things. If you know these 3 things, you are, as a trader, you are unstoppable. Nobody can stop you. You're what kind of income do you want to make? Hey, do you write your own ticket? The first thing is you got to have clearly defined entries. And your entry method. You got to have each trade. You got to know your fill price. You'll get slippage, but in futures and liquid market, it's not going to be more than a tick or 2. So you're going to know your fill price. Now the forex, it's not like that, but in the futures markets, which I much more prefer. I know exactly where I'm going to get in, and I get in with limit orders, and I get filled within 1 tick, and many times right where I wanted to get in, I get filled. and I know exactly where I'm getting in because I make the market come to me. I'll show you the system in just a minute. What's the next thing that you need to know to be unbeatable, unstoppable as a trader? You need to know where to put your stop. You know, I asked a group one time, I was doing a webinar, and I said, hey guys, if I told you exactly where to get in the market, I mean the exact nanosecond when to enter the market, how many of you believe that that's all you need to go out and haul in money, haul in profits like you never saw before? And man, you wouldn't believe all the yeses that came in. Oh yeah, that's all I need. And then I said, well, what about your stop? Oh yeah, the stop. That's what trips me up. I put my stop in, and the market comes up and pops me, knocks me off my horse and into the weeds, and I'm sitting there in the ditch, and the market runs off and leaves me in my what would have been my profit direction. Happens over and over. So yeah, I got to know where to put my stop too. Okay, well, you got to know where to put it to the tick. To the tick, not generally where it is. Traders that I meet traders, and many of them, maybe some of you are that way. You have a cookie cutter stop. I use an 8-tick stop, or I use a 10 or 12-tick stop. You know, I go for 10 ticks with a 7-tick stop. You know, that's what every trade, that's what I do. Well, if it works for you, you keep doing it. Don't listen to me. This is just the ravings of a madman. You guys keep doing what you're doing. But if it's not working for you, then you might think about letting the market tell you where to get in and where to put your stop. Because it will. It'll tell you exactly to the tick where to put your stop. And I'll show you that in a minute. Finally, where am we going to get out of this thing? You know, you can be in a great trade and you can have your stop placed perfectly. And that trade is good for $300 or $400 or $500. But you're trying for 15 or 2,000, 2,500. You know, you're way overshooting the runway. And the market turns, comes back, and pow, it hits your stop, and you're in it for a loss when you could have made a lot of money. And it happens all the time to traders that are not new to the game. So you got to know those three things. Where do I get in? How do I get in? Where do I look for that fill price? My exact stop placement, I got to know that to the tick. And my precise exit points. Got to know those. Let me bring up a chart. We're going to go to the live market, and what I want to do now is show you guys what I do and what I have done today. And let me see if can you guys tell me if you can see this chart? I'm putting it right over that monitor there. Just putting it right on top. Can you guys see this chart? Okay. Y'all see that okay? Good here? Okay. All right. Well, let's look at that. Now, what I've done here is I've taken all the signals off of here. The system will find the signals for you. This is the system that I use as a code that has been over 5 years in the making. It's worked on every single day, improved. It will find entries. It will warn you when there's an entry. It will plot support and resistance levels better than anything I've ever seen. It will trade for you. You can say, hey, man, this is how I trade. This is a winning trading system. I'm going to teach Signal Pro how I trade, and I'll just sit back, prop my feet up, sip my tea, and let Signal Pro trade for me, because it's going to trade for me exactly the way I taught it. Yeah, it'll do that for you too. We could spend an hour talking about all the things this code can do. But let's take the signals off for now, and let's just look at some price action. To me, the best way to trade profitably is a combination of price action and technical analysis. The best of both. The best I've found of both. They both have a place, I think, in trading. I know traders that trade pure price action, and most of them are struggling. I know a lot of traders that are trading totally technical analysis, volume and market profile and support and resistance and pivots and you name it, Bollingers and Keltner channels and all that, and they're struggling. Not all of them. Some of them are doing okay. There's a book I read. I got it actually right behind me, and it is called Technical Analysis, and it's by Kirkpatrick, and it is a thick book, and it teach you everything there is to know about technical analysis. But one of the things that it demonstrates and teaches is that most technical analysis that we use, a lot of traders use today, is either worthless or inefficient. It works a little, but it doesn't work enough to allow you to win, on a consistent basis. And that's because a lot of the technical analysis methods, techniques, and tools that we use were created before computers, before the age of computer. So there really wasn't an effective way to backtest this stuff. And once computers came on the scene, now you can backtest this stuff and see, who's what's good, what isn't. Well, I like support and resistance. I think that's a great tool. I like trend lines and trend channels. And there's other stuff. There's other stuff too. But I'm very picky about what technical analysis tool I add to the soup here. But I also use proven, time-tested, proven price action. What does the market do most of the time in a given situation? Let me explain this chart here. This is the Russell 2000 current contract month, March of 2016. This is a 12-6 Felton Trading Renko Supreme. Now we created this is a modified Renko bar, and I saw the Renko bars in NinjaTrader, and yeah, they were okay. They were kind of like the Heiken Ashis or range bars. They just they're okay. Better than time-based charts and better than tick chart, but still not that great. But there was something about them that I got with my programmer, and I told him what I wanted him to do. And within a couple of weeks, he came back with the first version of the Felton Trading Renko Supreme Bar. And man, I mean, the light went on. Now, this was years and years ago. And I would do webinars for NinjaTrader, Intercontinental Exchange, Chicago Mercantile, various brokerages, and you name it. And slowly but surely, other traders, platform providers, system providers started to wake up and see the superiority of these bars. If we were to put this up on a 1-minute chart, you would not see a run of red bars coming down here for 9 red bars, or going up for 5 blues, or some of these big runs that you get. Or here's one here, ran up for roughly 21 bars, and then kept on going. You just don't see that, in a 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, 7 minute. It goes, you've seen them, red, red, blue, red, red, blue, blue, doji, 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 red, blue, doji, doji. It's a noise factory. It's insane. I'll never go back to the time-based bars or the tick bars. Unless I could, make money with them like I can with these bars, but I can't. They're just, it's too much noise and too difficult to tell where the market's going. But what I want to do is teach you guys some patterns here. We're talking about price action, and let's look at some patterns. One of them is what I call the stretched W and the stretched M. It's divergence. That's all it is. It's just divergent. Price will come down. Now this isn't a really good stretch here. That's not a big stretch. I like them when they come from way up here. They drop down 10, 15, 20 bars. Big old drop out here. Then of course it makes the W formation like this, and then it on the double bottom, and you get the divergence on your oscillator, and you have a buy signal, a basic, just a regular old garden variety basic divergence buy signal. What this will do, the vast majority of the time, we're talking anywhere from, depending on market condition, anywhere from 85 to 90% of the time, it will get you to 50% of whatever the distance was, whatever it dropped up here to the lowest low it came down here. It will give you half of that back. You're going to get half of that back. Now this being a fairly short leg in here, have the 50% isn't very much. The code labels it for you. But you can still see that on a 12.6, that means that each bar, the red bars, the body I'm talking about, and the blue bar, the colored part, is 12 ticks tall. They're 12 ticks. Now I can make them anything. I can make them 2 ticks. I could make them 200 ticks. You get to pick the numbers. You get to pick the size time frame chart that fits your style, your personality, and your trading account. Maybe you don't want to use a 12-tick stop. Maybe you want to use a 5-tick stop or something. But your entry would be, when you see this and the bar's coming up and it's good, it says, hey, I'm going to make it. You got the blue histogram here, and he says, okay, I'm going to plant a blue bar here. You put your limit order in. You just put it in there. Just I usually do it with a buy stop. It would go in there just like that. 1 tick beyond that, because it could come up and touch you, fill you, and then bounce back and close out as a red bar. So that's how I enter. That's how I enter.
Can you see your cursor?
I can't see my cursor. Can you see the crosshair? The cursor is the center of the crosshair. Is that okay? See, the problem is if I use the arrow, then I can't tell what price it is over here on the right. I can't, like if I look at this and I say, okay, the closing price there is 10.1890. If I use an arrow, then I have no clue. I just have to guess what that is. And so the crosshair works better if you guys can see the crosshair. Okay, so just look where the intersection of the crosshair is, and that's my cursor. And I think once you understand it, the vertical and the horizontal, you'll like it. Okay, so we get in this trade at, we get filled at, let's say, 10.19. My target is up here. Now, each one of these bars on the, we call it the step size, we know the bar size is 12 ticks. But the difference between the close of one bar and the close of the next bar is 6 ticks. it's half of the bar size, so I call it a half step. Now, you can make it anything you want. You can make it, we have what we call a one-step chart, and man, they're really interesting on these one-step charts. Here's one of them right here. And you can see when you use a one-step chart, when it goes red, it stays red for a while. It's right now, it's trying to change to blue, and if he goes blue, he's going to make more blue bars. It's just what it does. And we have signals that let you enter and enjoy some nice profits on these things. I like the signals that get me in real early in the turn. And you can see he's come up there and he's just touched his closing price. He's touched it, but he's got to go through it. One tick. There, he did it. And now he closed out at whatever price that was. That looks like 16,227. And so off he goes. He's going to make a blue bar and a blue bar and a blue bar. Now that's a 22-1. So the bars are 22 ticks tall. But the step size, the difference between the close of one bar and the close of the next, is 1 tick. So it's a very sensitive chart. And the market is going to go up and up and up until it just can't make that final tick. And when it can't make that final tick, it collapses and it'll go red again. And it's a very, very interesting and profitable chart that we use every day. It's called the one-step chart. And again, the bar size can be anything you want. Okay, so this says right here that, Roger, I can't promise you the moon. I can't promise you I'll get you up here to resistance. I could, but if you want to pick up a couple $100, $200 or $300, trading just 2 contracts, I got it for you. It's right here. Because that's where I'm going, 85 to 90% of the time. Now I'm going up here, but only 40% of the time. Do you want a big profit a low percentage of the time, or do you want a nice profit 90%, 85, 87, 90% of the time? I prefer this. Yeah, give me a few $100 for a couple of little old contracts and get me on to the next trade. My trades don't last very long. I'm in, I'm out, and kablooey. I'm in, I'm out, and this would have been 6, 12, 18. If it had gone for, if I'd have stayed in for 20 ticks, it would have been $400. $400 on just 2 contracts here in the Russell. And it's the same, I don't care what you're trading, the ES, oil, gold, copper, soybeans, you name it, whatever you want to trade. These signals appear no matter what market or what time frame. Doesn't matter. All right, so you can see this actually did go up and went to, and looks like he might even want to go through his little resistance level up here. And up he goes. This is just great right here. This is super. All right. So what's happened here is price has taken off, and I look at this. I love these things here because I know that price says what it's telling me right here is I want to get half of that back for you. I want to get half back, and half of the distance from here to here. You can see the little red squares. Some traders say, what are those red squares? That's just telling you what it's measuring. It's measuring from this low up to this high. And he says half of that is right here. So now let's go forward and see, because what it wants to do when it makes a big run like this is set up another divergent signal. Another divergent signal. And this time it'll be a sell signal. All right, there's our double top up here, and then there's our, if we use this oscillator here, there's your lower high, and we have a sell signal. Now this is, if you're going to captured these big moves. Now this went higher, so that brought your 50% target up a little higher. So our stop, let's just analyze this one. Our entry is going to be right here plus a tick, okay? Where that close of that bar plus a tick. Let the market come to you, fill you, and you're in. My stop is going to be up here at the top of the tail. Every turn bar has a tail. When it goes in a new direction, they all have tails. There are no wicks on these bars. They're all tail. So that one has a tail, this one has a tail. Now, why do I pick that point? I do that because if the trade is going to work, that's not going to get hit. It just won't get hit. This one didn't get hit. That one didn't get hit. This one didn't get hit. That one didn't. This one didn't. That one didn't. This one didn't. That one didn't. It's the I hate to use the word safe or no. It's not. There's no safe place to put a stop, but it's the least risk level that you can put your stop at. There's always risk in trading. Don't get me wrong, but it's not going to get hit unless the trade isn't going to work. So if the trade's not going to work, you're glad to get out here instead of 20 ticks above. And what you don't want to have is you get in the trade here and you put your stop up here, 5 ticks or something, and bam, it knocks you out and then heads on down into what would have been a great profit. So let's see what how this would have played out in real time. Remember, this kind of distance, it would be rare. It happens. Well, I was doing a training class today, and I said, boy, it's rare that the market can just run down there to your target with solid red or solid blue. And darn if it didn't. It actually did. All right, let's go see. We're going to see what it does. Down she goes, down she goes. All right, now as we suspected, it's not going to be a smooth ride here. It's going to take some time. Oops, I lost my spot here. Well, that's okay. So we don't spend too much time on it. Look at your stop up here, and here is your entry. And this is our target here. I forgot to mark my target. We'll just borrow this little line here, flatten it out. And this is our target. We already have it marked here. We know where our target is. It's going to be right there. And that's going to be a nice target, too. That's probably the only trade you'd need all day long. But look how price says, I'll get you there. Just work with me. I won't stop you out. Just work with me, trust me, I'll get you there. Now, that doesn't mean that every trade works. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that most of them do. Most of them do. And the bigger ones, you have to let them play out. Let them run. And don't worry about the pullbacks. If it comes up and stops you out, you're glad you got out there and not out here. The thing you can't do is start moving your stop down. You can't do, unless you just try and say, hey man, I don't care about going down there and making, a couple $1,000 here. I'm just interested in getting in here and making a few hundred, 300 or 400. That'd be fine for me. Well, that's fine. Then you can do your little trailing stop. Another interesting thing, speaking of trailing stops, one of the dozens of things I love about these bars is your trailing stop. Remember I said these only have tails. They don't have wicks. If you were going to take this run, you had some reason, maybe you're a Fibonacci guy and this thing will do Fibonacci. And Elliott wave. Elliott, man, if you're an Elliott wave guy, we've got some in our room that are some of the best on planet Earth. They are amazing what these guys can do. Well, you'll see they'll post their trades in the room, and you can see how they do. They're better traders than I am. My goal, by the way, is to average a 4-figure profit on a daily basis. Now, I'm saying average. Yesterday I didn't make my goal. Monday I did. Today it was 1140. Tomorrow I got to hustle. I got to do a little better than that tomorrow, and a little better, about 300 or 400 on Friday, and I'll be in pretty fair shape. But I try to average my 4-figure profit target, trading just 2 contracts. I don't know of any. Maybe there's other trainers, teachers, mentors that do that. I don't know. I've never known any that take 2 contracts and over the last 4.5 years have averaged $1,000 a day and have the data backing it up. And these aren't trades where I just come in and say, "Hey guys, guess what I just did?" No, these are trades that you can watch me take them. You watch. You'll see me. I put my order in here. That gets filled. My stop goes here, and my target goes here, and then boop, down we go, down we go. Okay. Anyway, this one does make our profit target right here. Let me cancel this order. But put that in, and I don't.
Order canceled.
I'm not. I don't know why I put that one in there. Oh, I was going to show you this. When see the tails on these bars, it will put a cyan dot on them if they have a tail, because sometimes they're kind of short, little stubby thing. But what great little places these make for trailing a stop. You say, okay, when that bar closes, he's got a tail, so you move your stop up to the base, the tip of the tail. Then the next one goes right here, and the next one goes right here, then the next one goes here, then the next one goes up 1 tick, and then up we go, and the next tail goes here, then the next one goes here, then here, and eventually, if you haven't made your target, you eventually get stopped out. But a lot of traders say, man, for trailing a stop, I just never know where to move it. Let the bars tell you where to move it. These bars will tell you. All right, let's go on and see what and just kind of go forward. And it doesn't matter, guys. We can look at any market, ES, oil, gold, the YM, the NASDAQ, anything. It's the signals are signals are signals. But let's just go through here and see if we can identify where these 50% targets are going to get hit. This right here is we know we're in a downtrend. We're in a downtrend here. And this bar right here, this blue bar, says I should be able to get you up to the 50% of this distance right here. And yeah, it'll probably do that. But to expect it to go further, you don't expect it, because it has failed you in here. Your buyers, this was their chance to come up and get their 50% target, and they couldn't do it. And they couldn't do it here, and they couldn't do it here. And what happens if you got snookered? You're in here and you had a signal, and you looked at your histogram and you said, oh man, there's my trade. There's my trade. Up she goes, and then down it goes, and then down it goes, and what you would do is you would we call these slingshots because they kind of look like them. Here's the first post, like a kid's slingshot. You'd hook the rubber band to each of the 2 red bars, the little posts, and the blue one is the handle, and it's upside down, right? So you would exit the trade when this bar closes, because it lost. It didn't make any money. Then you would put your stop up here, and you would be going short right here. If the buyers are telling you that they're screaming at you, saying, man, I don't have any strength. I tried to tell you back here and here and here and here. I just don't have any strength. Don't trust me. And you trusted it, and it didn't work out for you. Okay, we put our stop here, and we're in the trade somewhere around here, and our goal is 2 bars. Just take 2, and you'll get your money back. Now, you could say more than 2 bars was here, but it's not the way to bet. Many times you'll see it'll give you the 2 bars. It'll go 3, sometimes 4, and sometimes more. But like right here, there's your little breakout right here, and that's all it had was 1, 2 bars. So, but he made his 50%, so that wouldn't have been one of those that you would have taken. Here they made their 50%, but here they didn't. They didn't get their 50% on the pullback. You wouldn't take this one anyway because you'd be fighting this monster signal up here, and you don't want to do that. Wouldn't make sense. But this one, yeah, he's so close. You ought to be able to pick up. Well, 6 ticks would be if you got with no slippage, you'd make $120. But figure slippage, figure $100, and you'd have gotten it. That's your target right there. And the bar touches it. The tail pokes through it as it whips around to come back down. Now we have a little breakout right here. It made its 50% target, so I leave it alone. I don't make it make it prove anything to me. But if I did, I'd be even more profitable if I just kept taking these breakouts like this one, where it goes up 2 bars and then quickly down 2 bars, and I get in here and I take 2 bars. Just take 2, 1, 2, boom. That's $240 before commissions and any slippage. So I figure $200. Not a bad little profit for something that takes you 2 or 3, 4 minutes. Okay, so let's come on down. What are we looking for? We're looking for before we can trust the buyers, these bulls, I want to see it break the trend line. So I'll put a trend line in here, and that with I usually use a little ray here, and I'll put the little trend line in like this, and say, okay, you break it. That's actually could be made into a trend channel, but I'm not going to trust the blue bars until they can bust through this little orange line. Then I don't necessarily take a trade right there, but if what it's telling me is that the sellers are done, and that the price won't come down and retest that low. It won't retest it. It'll make a higher low if it does pull back. I don't have any inclination to believe that the sellers are done here. Ooh, boy, they tried to break out up there, didn't they? But they turn, they come right back. All right, now this is really interesting. One of the things that you'll notice on when the market is ready to break a trend line is it will, it comes down, tests the low, it tests the low, it tests the low, and then right here it leaves that gap. And what's that about? Well, that's he's saying I'm going to bust out of the top. And he'll do it about 8 out of 10 times. He's ready to bust out of the roof of this thing, bust through that old supply line. So let's move that on up just a little bit more. Well, that's about it, isn't it? Let's put this on that top right there. It's not going to really matter. Okay, so here's our entry right here. Actually, what I'd want to see is a blue bar on the histogram. So I'm going to wait and see if I get one on the next go. There I go. And even the fast line down here, the red and green one, is my color. So that could be an entry. But yeah, I want to make sure that the buyers are back, that they've got the strength. So let's let them poke through here. Let's let them open and close a bar. on the northern side of that orange line. And that's exactly what they did. Do you guys see, though, a stretch W? Now, we can forgive. One of our rules is if we have, if the sellers or the buyers, if in this case the sellers are coming down, if the buyers come in here for just one bar, that's noise. That's not a pullback. 2 bars, that's noise. That's not a pullback. Here's 2 bars, noise. This is 4 bars, but that's part of your divergent signal. That's the first low, middle high, second low, and there's your higher low on your oscillator. You got a basic divergence buy signal here that says this thing's gonna blast off and take off and into a stretch W. And you can call that all one big bearish move because none of these pullbacks involved more, well, this one or this one, involved more than 1 or 2 bars. So let's draw the line. The code will see this for you. The code will see this, and he'll tell you, hey, you got a basic divergence here, and that your 50% marker is going to be up here somewhere. Let's see where that is. I've got to go in here and set this to see. He sees this up here. I need a square right here, and I need a little green square here, and I need a green one up here. So I'm gonna relax my my pullback rule and give that a 4 bar. I can go into Signal Pro. And there it is right there. Come up here to the top. You can see all the cool things this thing will let you. There's the global strategy. That's what you use when you say, okay, I'm going to set up a signal here and teach the code to go find it. You know, code Signal Pro, you go find it. You take it. You manage it. You exit the trade. I was just sit back and watch. Okay, so here is our forgive bars against. Let's make that a 4. And let's see if that indeed puts there it is. There's your green square here. That's your green square there. And so he puts your 50%. The 50%, because that was in there. I forgot to point it out to you. But it'll mark 50%. Now, I don't necessarily just need 50. And there's some traders that want a Fibonacci number. They want 61.8, or they want 38.2 or something. You know, they want some fib number. That's okay. You know, have at it. But I like 50% because it's hit, 85 to 90% of the time. Other fib numbers aren't. Unless you know Fibonacci, the Fibonacci theory, and how to use it. I don't. I've tried and tried over a period of 10 years, and I've never made a dime with Fibonacci. Okay. Anyway, here we go, and we should see price get to this level. So my entry is going to be here on this bar. I want to wait for the breakout. So now my entry, a more aggressive trader might have taken the basic divergence here. That's not against the rule, but I like to get in when he says, okay, we're back. Now we're strong. And they proved it to me. They did what I wanted them to do. My stop is going to be, it could be here, but I don't need it there. I'll put it right here. Put it back a little bit, because this thing could curl back into pull back into a low, a little higher low here. And my target is going to be up here. That's going to be my target. So here we go. There's 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, and 36. 36 ticks. Rounded off to 30. Well, you say you got some terrible slipping. Well, 30 ticks on 2 contracts is $600. Not too bad. All right, so here we go, going up, going up, going up. Now we curl down here as this thing curls down. Now we would look for the target to get down to here, which is where we'd be looking for a potential target. The qualifiers, what we need to see for us to believe that it can get down to that target, is going to be the distance. How far did those blue bars move? How far did they go? How far did these blue bars go from this low to this high? Did they go 7 bars or more? Yeah, they went 12. The code counts it for you. Then it says, okay, do you have a red histogram bar here? Yep, I got that. All right, we can get in here, 1 tick below that. We want that bar to close out, not act like he's going to close out, but make him close out. Put your stop right here. This Windows 10 does some strange things, I tell you. Okay, so then that's our target. And again, remember, it's 90% of the time. It'll get there. All right, let's go forward and see what happened here. Did it get to our target, or did it hit our stop first? This one looks like it hit our stop first. Now, what we're going to look for is this is another signal here. This is a stretched M over here. That's what we call a stretched M. And we could get in again over here. Now we notice we didn't get the IB, the little slingshot up here. We get the M, and anybody who's ever used divergence knows what I'm talking about. It's one of the most powerful tools that a trader can have in their trading arsenal, as far as a single goes. Okay, so let's come on down and let's see how this would have worked. This one stops out, but remember we got in here and we got stopped out up here. We're back in over here. And by the way, one of the things I didn't mention, I put my target is always 1 tick shy of that thing. And also, if I were going to go for this thing, it'd be 1 tick shy of the near edge. These things are so accurate that price comes down, and a lot of times it just touches them. He just comes down and he just touched that red line. I'd have to have mine 1 tick shy of that. You would not believe how often it will come down there to within just 1 tick. Now he comes up here and he should be through. He should be done with that trade. This is mission accomplished right here. Also, you can see that the market is, you wouldn't want to be trading in that. When the market does this, you're looking for the breakout. You're looking for the bar or the run. You're looking for a 7 bar or more run. More is better. Don't trade in this stuff. Don't trade in, when we wouldn't know here. This is just an M. That looked fine. But when it only comes down for 2 reds and 1 blue and then 1 red and 2 blues, and stay with it until you either get stopped out or it hits your target. But don't continue to look for trades in this stuff. Only look for trades when you have a run of 7 bars or more, like we did here. We could go short here, and we didn't quite make it. We could go short here because that's the divergence cousin to this signal here. And now let's see if we can get, when we break out of here. Now we've got something that we can consider. Okay, so he runs up and he said, he counts it, and he says, you got 7 bars. Now, 7 bars will generally only give you 1 bar of profit here. But again, 1 bar is, you know, $100 with slipping. So let's go pick up $100. And we didn't. And we didn't. So this is a right here, one of those, I call it the rebate trade. We got the 7 bars. You know, 19 times out of 20, this will come down for the one bar. But when it comes back up to a slingshot, you reverse and go for 2 bars. That's if you've got room in there before resistance comes along and causes trouble for you. There's 1, there's 2, and $200. You wouldn't quite get back what you lost here if you had your stop up here, but it's a good chunk of it. Your ultimate loss here on that trade would be very little, relatively low. Okay, so here we go. Down we go. Down we go. Down we go. Now he makes that 50%. He had to come up here and hit resistance and then come back down, but I didn't see that as it was a divergent signal. It was a divergent signal, but it sure was ugly. Okay, let's come on, and that's just trash market right here. Leave it alone. You're looking for the 7 bar or more breakout. I'm talking about 7 straight bars, not all the zigzag stuff. So he's counting this, you know, on the pullbacks. He's counting that as 29 a bar. It is a bullish run, but it's just so full of noise. The market is just not in good shape. Not in good shape. Let's just go forward here and see. There we go. Now we've got good shape again. That comes down for what he sees as 10 bars. I see it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 bars. He's counting these other 2 back here. Okay, so what does he say he wants to do here? He says, I want to get up here to my my little green line. You're fighting, this is one of the things, always watch this, if you're fighting a very highly directional red or green line, like here, going long here, you're trying to fight that highly directional line. It may do it eventually, but it's going to be tough. That's what happened here. We were fighting, well, actually, that wasn't too bad. That wasn't all that bad. That was better. That was better. But coming down here, we got blue on the histogram, but that's kind of nasty. So this one might be a little trouble. All right, slingshot, 2 bars. 1, 2. You get your money back. That's what I like about this. You know, when you have a losing trade, you got to, you know, it's not chasing the market like it would be if I were doing this on a 1 minute or 3 minute or, you know, some other chart time. It's just what I noticed the market does. If a trade, they're so powerful that if they don't work, it can only mean that my team, like this blue bar here, is just exceedingly weak. Is just, I mean, he's got nothing. He's powerless. And if he's powerless, then the sellers are going to run over him. Okay, we got what appears to be maybe a divergent signal here. It's a breakout, and this is a red bar. And we've got red on the fast line. I see this as a breakout to go take 2 bars. Let's go take 2 bars. 1, 2. Another $200. Down we go. See, no divergent signal. This is very, very powerful. So now I've got to wait. If I'm going to go long, I can take sell signals all day long. But if I'm going to go long, I've got to wait until it breaks that trend line. And on this one, it's so, you know, it's so broken and angular. what I would do is take, to find my trend line, I would do this, and take the ray, and just connect this low to that low, and then just do a parallel transport. Okay, so that is a slingshot again. Remember, anytime you get a blue, red, blue, or a red, blue, red, it's a slingshot. They're powerful little guys. They're powerful little signals. So he says, okay, I've got 2 bars for you. He also says, I might be able to get you up here to the 50%. We have the breakout up here. What I'd like to do is see more of a traditional type signal to know if I'm going to be able to get you know, up there to that 50% point. Let's see if it does. Oops, I think it went too far. Right here we were. Okay, so this is a little breakout. 2 bars. 2 bars is the least risky. There's 1, there's 2, there's $200. But I'm waiting for some kind of a really powerhouse signal, and yeah, the market goes to mush again. There's a nice little run right here that says, hey, I want to get you to 50%. 50% is up here. I need a signal. There's a blue bar here. There's the blue on the histogram. Even like a little green on the fast line. So we're long here. We're going to here. Our stop would be here. And notice it does it to the tick sometimes, or just over by maybe 1 tick. It does that over and over and over again. It's just that's why I only go for 50%. And you've seen it happen a couple of times. It just goes there or just a little over, and then it reverses. And then it reverses. Well, guys, we could go on and on and on. If you want to see this traded live, in fact, speaking of live, let's go out here to the current market and just see if there is a live signal going on right now. No, it's dead market. We didn't get 7 bars here to get our red here. Where was the last set of winners? Well, it was right here. We had our stretch W. See the big stretch? There's the double bottom for the signal, and we can turn those signals on. Let's turn the divergent signals on here in Signal Pro, so you can see where if it finds them or not, and it usually does. There's my divergence. We'll turn on hidden divergence and stub signals. Those are 3 that are in the same family of signals, of the divergence family. And you can see he says, yeah, you got the stretch, you got the W. It's a W. It's a little shy up here, but if it just comes back 80% of whatever it ran up, it's a divergent signal. And then we come up here. And by the way, guys, these charts are now all over the place. You can get these bars; they're everywhere. You know, if you want to, you know, take a shot at playing with these, I don't think you'll, once you get the hang of it and see the how accurate they are and how much they help you determine where the market's going next. You probably won't want to go back to the old traditional bar. But there's our divergence, our stretch W, and there's our 50%. And that one was good for 6, 12, 18, 24, 24 with including slipping. There's your little slingshot, good for 200. Here's a little slingshot. No, that's a breakout, excuse me. And also a hidden divergent. And he's good for 2 bars. And then this comes down. There's no 7 bars here. There's no 7 bars there. Nothing here. This is all just trash market. Okay, let's go back to our PowerPoint and kind of finish up here and And I hope my team has been answering your questions. And some of the people will say, well, okay, how much? What do I get? What's different about you guys? Well, what you won't get is this level of training or support, and you're not going to get it anywhere else. Name one person who will do, one system provider, educational outfit, anybody that would give you what we do, and then I'll have to change my presentation. But as a Felton Trading student, you receive unlimited lifetime access to everything you'll ever need to succeed and more. Well, what is that? You're just going to give me a system and pat me on the back, hand me a couple of videos and say, hey, good luck, go get them, Tiger? No. We're going to give you professional live training every day, Monday through Friday, for the rest of your life, if you want it. If you need it. I've never had anybody that needed it very long, but you get professional live training. That's classes, formal classes that we do every single day. Fridays are set aside for intensive training, intensive. You get about 2.5 to 3 hours, and they're always video recorded. You get access to the trading room. Now, some traders say, well, I just want to come in for a month, and how much is that? That's $200. Okay, well, and we may have some do it. The trading room is where you actually see everything you learned in the classes actually happens over and over and over. Those stretch W's, the stretched M's, the 50% targets when you get a run of bars of 7 or more, and many other things. The slingshots, the breakouts, the basic and hidden divergence, the stub signals. There's a number of things to teach you. But the point is you can go out and trade practically any market in any market condition other than sideways congested. If it just goes up a bar and down a bar and up 2 bars and down 3 and up 2 and down 1, you can't trade our system. You can't trade anybody's system and make money. But choppy markets, you bet you can make money in there. All right, what else do you get? Unlimited, I like that word, unlimited access to one-on-one mentorship with me. Not somebody I hired. I've got the answer. I developed the system. You got a question, I got the answer. And in 17 years of doing this, I've gotten pretty good at teaching it. And so you get access, unlimited. That means if you say, Roger, I need you for 2 hours tonight. I'll need you from, how about 8 to 10? You got it. Roger, I'm also going to need you Saturday. This weekend I got a job. I got slammed, and I don't want to come home all foggy-headed and tired. Can we get together Saturday, maybe 10 to 1 or noon to 2 or something? How about during the Super Bowl? Can I get with you during the Super Bowl? Then my neighbors will leave me alone. Yeah, you got it. You got it, guys. I'm telling you, you need help. You got it. Absolutely. Unlimited access, lifetime access to one-on-one mentorship. Well, how about Monday for 3 hours? You got it. How about I've got 2 sessions this evening. I got 2 sessions with students. One will probably take about an hour, hour and a half at the most. The other one is a new student, and he has several questions. He wants me to go over some of his signals, and that might take up to 2 hours. But that's what we do, and that's my promise to him, and I've been keeping that promise now for 17 years. So one-on-one mentorship, I don't know what value you'd put on that. I just know that nobody else in this industry would do it. They just won't. They're into it for the money, and that's fine, man. I understand private enterprise and all that. That's great. That's super. But know how important it is. If you could see the success, I wish you could have seen Kenneth's comments in the room today, how thankful he was, how he just thanked us profusely for working with him and teaching him what he knows and able to. He beat me today. He beat the socks off of me. Clint had my co-moderator, who's also a student. He's in the room here. He had a $2,000 day, and there I was trailing up the rear with 1,100. But anyway, unlimited access. All right, how much is all this? Our lowest price ever offered, all this for just $19.95, $1,995. And this is the gal that you would call or email and say, hey, sign me up. But guys, I don't want you to sign up today. I don't want you to even touch your wallet, okay? Because that's not our price for the rest of this month, for the rest of February. It's $14.95. We've taken $500 off, and people that want to learn and want to be successful are taking us up on it, and that's how we get new students. They come into the room, they spend a week with us, and I work with them one-on-one. May have several of these one-on-one sessions. Don't cost them a dime, doesn't cost them anything. They learn a lot, and it's $14.95. But that's not it. Last night, Beverly said, let's make it $9.95. We've never offered a lower price than $9.95. Now remember, this, you get me for the rest of my life anyway, and I'm feeling pretty good, guys. I'm in good shape. So you get the professional live training for life. You get trading room access for life, and you get unlimited access to one. This is what does it for you, guys. This is where when you get stumped, you get a hold of me, and we keep that equity curve going. We keep it rolling. All this just $9.95. But again, just don't touch your wallet. I want you to know what you're getting and see what you're getting. Nobody else does that. Say, hey, wait a minute, don't sign up right now. Come on into the room. We'd love to have you. You can go to our website, www.feltontrading.com, and there's a little icon there. You click on it, and you can sign up for 1 free week. If you need some extra time, just let Beverly know. She's very easy to get along with. And the only thing is, we would need to know at the end of your 1 week period, 1 week with us, if you're coming on board. And if you can tell us that, don't make a decision the first day, second day, third day, or fourth day. We'll do it for the whole 5 days, and then let Beverly know, and she will give you the $9.95. It's just for the people here in the MarketFest. It's not for anybody else. Okay? If you come to one of my other webinars, you're going to see the price is $14.95. Okay, well let's scooch on out of here. Our sincere thanks to each and every one of you for attending today's little training webinar here with MarketFest. Anyone wanting additional personal instruction, some help, some advice, some direction, you can schedule a free, absolute free, no obligation, one-on-one session with me, and you can do that anytime. How about a special thanks to all the gang at Winvesting for making MarketFest such a success and an educational tool that we can all benefit from. All right? Well, how about we see you in the Felton Trading Room, and thanks once again, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.